I think we should start now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can start when you're ready.
All right. So, guys, I want to introduce Carol. So Carol is someone that I personally find very inspiring. She has done a lot that I'm still so awed about today, till today. So Carol is a software engineer, and she currently works at Facebook on the developer operations team. And so I'm so glad that you agreed to do this and that we're finally doing this. It's been over a month since we thought
No,
about doing
I
this.
know, I
Yeah.
know.
So I am going to let you introduce yourself officially and yeah, and then we'll get started. Mhm.
Okay, thanks, Celine. I hope I said your name right.
Yes, you're good.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so my name is Carol Kariuki, and I am a developer operations review and support specialist at Facebook. I'm also a software engineer. I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian. And I'm so excited to be doing this live again. This is my second live, actually.
Yeah.
And this time my lighting is right, and I am super ready and pumped for this one.
I mean, yeah, you look awesome. You're good. So yeah, let's do this.
I tried to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a couple of things that I wanted us to talk about, and I think we're going to dive
Mm-hmm.
into that. And then afterwards, if someone here has questions, they can comment, they can like ask about them later on. And so I would want us to start talking about experience as a woman in technology. So more specifically, I want you to talk about your personal experience as a woman in technology. I mean, as we know, software engineering or like careers in tech are male dominated. And so women have different experiences and all that. And so I want you to tell us about how has it been for you to thrive in this male dominated field? Like, what has your experience been so far? Hmm.
Phew. The hard question first, eh?
Yeah, the hard question first, like, we just
I
go
mean,
into
it's
it.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's hard already because, as you said, it's male dominated.
Yeah.
However, the data shows that we have a significant increase in the number of women engineers at Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And like myself, in my team, we are over 70% of women
Mm-hmm.
in my team.
That's
And
awesome.
we
Yeah.
are thriving. We are thriving. And
Yeah.
at Facebook, we're encouraged to have hard conversations. And we're also encouraged to have, to be allies to each other. And that means men noticing that we are few of us and driving the conversation to have more women in the space and various women in my team as well are
Yeah.
transitioning from some were not in tech, others have been in tech.
Yeah.
So we're thriving, the numbers are going up, and I can say we're doing good. We're
And
really doing good.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So when it comes
Hmm.
to like your experience so far, have you had times whereby you have felt like people have not taken you seriously just because you're a woman? And yeah, like just because you're a woman in tech and all that? Uh-huh.
I was trying to avoid the gender question,
Yeah.
but it has come again.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, first of all, I'm a fun-loving person, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there might be a borderline of is she serious or is she joking, and that
Mm-hmm.
makes me the fun size in the team. And at Facebook, we are encouraged to bring authentic selves to work. So today, in courtesy of Facebook,
It's fine.
mom planting, and I didn't think this would happen so fast. So this is my plant,
Uh-huh.
and
I see the Facebook thing. Yeah.
yes, thanks Mark for this plant. And I
Mm-hmm.
just spilled on my couch, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Yeah, I mean we're encouraged to bring authentic selves to work, and people can have their perception, right? Which
Yeah.
is welcome. And like I said earlier, we are encouraged to be allies and bring our authentic selves to work. So I'm the fun size in the team.
So like you have not had an experience whereby someone has been like, oh, she's a woman, she's not
Oh,
and all that.
okay, okay. I have a story. There's this story I always tell, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We were at a tech conference,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna shout out Proud Zambukira, who is the partnerships lead in EMEA.
Mm-hmm.
So we were at a tech conference, and he was introducing me to a group of other gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman who was being introduced to us, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but he went. So I was the only woman in that circle, right?
Yeah.
And we introduced ourselves. Hey, my name is so and so, so and so, and then he went directly to ask the guys. So you're an engineer at, and you're an engineer at, and he skipped me. Can
Oh,
you
wow.
imagine?
Yeah.
I was just like, what in the world has happened?
Mm-hmm.
And like Cheryl says, live without living. Cheryl in her book, Lenin, I had to represent her today.
Yeah.
Says live without living. And in that very moment, I just felt like I have to leave this conversation quietly and go process what had just happened, because
Yeah.
I just figured, how could this guy think probably, oh, maybe I'm in
You
marketing,
are
or
in
maybe
HR.
I cannot be in
Something
tech.
like that.
I
Yeah.
must be in HR, or I'm a musician, or I was the the musician of the day. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
One of the
it's crazy how many women experience this, many women in tech. And I mean, your
Mhm.
story is definitely an example of what people go through out there. Yeah, so I want you to tell us about, like, from what you've said so far, Facebook seems to be a very like diverse company and has a lot of systems that try to support women in technology. But are there any systems that you have personally used when it comes to like a support system? Like, because I know sometimes when you have those moments, you need someone to like lean on for support and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, 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 yes. So I'd say community and capacity building.
Mm-hmm.
I led developer circles Nairobi, and shout out to everyone at Debsi Nairobi. I think now we're almost at 8K strong members. I
Mm-hmm.
miss you guys so much. And so community and capacity building. I
Yeah.
led developer circles Nairobi for approximately 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
first I started off as a support team member, and I just started sharing content, and that's how we started building the community. And Facebook was very generous in providing us with the financial support, with the engineering resources, with people, with connections, so community and capacity building. And we also had, so that's where I actually took my data science course, and I
Mm-hmm.
found myself later after the 3 years at Facebook.
Transitioning and Facebook. Yeah. So like talking about community, I would say that I personally first knew about you through the DevC, like the DevC group, because at the moment I was trying to look for communities that I can be part of when it comes to technology and all that. So you're
You're
someone
in the
who,
right space.
yeah, you're someone who I think really champions for community and you really value community and all that. So I want you to tell us about like what how has communities like played a key part when it comes to your growth as an engineer, your growth as a person? Like, yeah, what when you
Oh,
look back, like what is the one thing that communities has really like helped you when it comes to growth? Mm-hmm.
I would say continuous learning, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every time you meet someone who has a unique skill set,
Yeah.
it could be the same topic. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, it could be the same language like PHP,
Mm-hmm.
but they do it differently, or they explain it to you differently.
Yeah.
And so, continuous learning within the community. And some of these communities have been developer circles supported by
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's also GDG,
Yeah.
and I will also mention Umbrella, which was a community that has really played a key role in my growth.
Yeah.
And there's also for Africa by Microsoft, which I had a short stint with,
Mm-hmm.
and many others. I
I
hope I answered that question
Yeah,
right.
you have. So, like, when it comes to communities, what would you tell someone? Like, how best would someone leverage being part of a community? Like, if for someone like me, like, let's say I was a newbie in terms of community, like, what would you tell me? Like, how best would I ensure that I use my experience in the community to, like, grow and become, and just grow and become a
Uh,
better person? Mm-hmm.
so it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Be in the spaces where it's happening.
Yeah.
If you know there's a event happening somewhere, go
Mm-hmm.
for it. Um, and we were discussing this earlier, right?
Yeah.
I was telling you my lecturer, Eric Mutuku, who now leads the Lego Institute. I was at Immobilis, by the way, for those who
Mm-hmm.
are represented here. And I remember one time he told us, code for 4 hours. The rest, go and try out other things.
Yeah.
So my other things were community, music, and yeah. So be in the spaces where it's happening. If you know there's a new person being flown into the country who is delivering on a keynote, something, somewhere, attend it. Start
Yeah.
a community yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to leverage on community.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that personally, being part of communities has really helped me when it comes to being on toes, like knowing that I need to do this, this is what I need to
Yeah.
do. Also, when it comes
Yeah.
to networks, you get to meet a lot of people who like can really like help you get the next step in your career and all that. So I would personally
Yeah.
always recommend like being part of communities. Okay, so I think now I wanted to talk about growth as an engineer, like like the whole growth process. And I would say that again, that this is one of the
Yeah.
reasons why I really find you inspiring. You have worked in very different departments in technology. You have worked
I
in
have.
mobile, you have worked in web, you have worked in data science, and now you're in DevOps. So I want you to tell us about your history. Like, how, did you see yourself getting to this point like 5 years ago? Did you see yourself making it this far 5 years ago? And just your history and growth.
Um, well, first of all, for my history, I'm just gonna briefly, because now I have a shorter version, because now
Yeah,
I'm in the yeah. So this is how it started. I loved computers,
yeah.
and my uncles debated on a school of choice, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
ended up at a German school that was offering computers and German classes,
Yeah.
and that's where I learned computers, and the rest is history. So obviously, I selected computer studies and dropped German in high school
In high school, yeah.
because I was just a very curious child and I wanted to really pursue computers and see where it's going to lead me.
Mm-hmm.
And right after high school, I did mobile programming, Android, Windows Phone, moved to, what was the other one? I'm
Web,
forgetting.
Chrome,
Yes, web technologies. So I worked at B2Mob,
yeah.
which is a company that helps Kenyans shop from the US and the UK. And then I started off with communities like I started off with Microsoft, GDG, and then Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
developer circles. And then that's where I learned data science. And I also got to lead the community.
Yeah.
And then, so after the 4 years at V2Mob, I decided that it was time for growth. And so I
Mm-hmm.
started looking for other areas. And surprisingly, I don't know why, Facebook was the last thing on my mind because I was just like, oh, Facebook is just for community. And then I'm like, let me try a role. So I applied and here I am.
And now here you are, yeah. I mean, 11 years is a long time, so kudos to you for being in tech for that
It,
long. I'm not sure if I can, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot for you to be where you are today. So are there things that I know you've talked about community and all that, but are there things that you personally did to ensure that if you wanted, like, did you know that, okay, so I now want to make this switch and this is what I'm going to do, you know? Are there things that you personally did to ensure you're here right now? Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I invested in myself a lot,
Awesome.
reading,
Mm-hmm.
obviously also to the community, and praying to God.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
when you pray and find clarity, God leads you to a God ordained path,
Yeah.
and that every move you make feels like God is there with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say praying and continuously learning and just doing my part.
Awesome. And so, like, I know transitioning can be hard, but yeah, you have done a couple of transitions when it comes to tech. How did you navigate transitioning, like different roles? Like, okay, you are switching from web to now working in data science to now DevOps. Like, how have you navigated the transitions and also like switching companies at the same time? Hmm.
I was always okay. Probably I'm an opportunist.
Yeah.
So I was always looking out. So you know how tech changes every now and then,
Hmm.
and the tech is an industry that will forever be there, right?
That's
Because we
true.
are the ones who will be innovating, and there there problems come up every time.
Hmm.
That solutions. There could be something happening around the world that needs someone to build a solution for.
That's true.
So I was always looking out for opportunities. And
Hmm.
like you've seen, I moved from mobile to web, and they're still there. It's not
Yeah,
that
they're
they've
still there.
been
Hmm.
restricted or something. So just be on the look out for opportunities and make decisions for yourself. I
Yeah.
think that's be my advice to people who
Mhm.
are looking to transition.
Okay. Okay, so now I want you to tell us about. I know you're someone who has a lot of diverse interests. You can see you
Oh,
like fashion, you like tech, you're very much into you have a lot of interests. And people tend to think that because like software engineering can be a very demanding role sometimes, it has a lot of
mm,
work. So when people get into tech, they tend to be like, oh, I'm gonna give up on this side of my life that I probably wanted to like get into or like I probably wanted to explore. But you're someone
yeah.
who has tried to explore all the interests that you have. I mean, you have a YouTube channel, you can sing. By the way, she has some two new songs out. You should check them out.
I know, guys. I'm on Spotify. A
Yeah,
whole Spotify.
YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, like, yeah, that's awesome, by the way. So, yeah, like, I want you to tell us about how you have navigated all that, like, all your interests, and, like, worked on all of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think three things, eh?
Yeah.
So God, praying
Mm-hmm.
and knowing the direction to take.
Yeah.
Two, my lecturer said, code for 4 hours, the rest go and try something else.
So, like, do you actually code for 4 hours? Because, I mean, there's times that you probably need to code for longer hours.
You
Yeah.
see, coding can be heavy. It's a heavy tasking activity to the brain, right?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So his point was have a life outside coding, and that's how I found this all these other things to do while still pursuing
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
And the third thing, I had a third point. Mm, okay, probably I remember as we go along.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so now this is another very interesting thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is education when it comes to tech and tech careers. So one thing that I personally know about is that people don't really need to like get college degrees in tech and all that. And you're a personal example that you can be successful in tech even if you don't go through the normal like traditional routes and all that. You have had a different experience, like we both have had different experiences in terms of tech. You have gone through a different route, and I want you to tell us about that. How has the experience been for you, like when it comes to education and all that?
So I'm gonna have to start with my high school teacher. Shout out to her, Mrs. Ntube at the Kenya High School. She
Mm-hmm.
was the most passionate, most fun and strict teacher, computer studies. So
Yeah.
she used to tell us all of these amazing things that technology can do.
Mm-hmm.
And back of my mind, I was just like, this is it for me. This is it for me. So right after high school,
Yeah.
I went programming. And this is not to discredit universities and other colleges, but I find smaller chunks of education
Yeah.
more effective than traditional campus life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say, and it worked for me. So
Someone just commented that Mrs. Nkube was her teacher too. So you have a
yes,
story. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Diana, I see you.
Yeah. So, was there a point where you were like, oh shit, I should have actually taken that degree. I should have gone to
Oh
college.
yes.
You know?
So deep down, I really, really wanted to pursue medicine, and I still do.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Um, and so, if I ever get a chance to go to uni, I would study medicine.
Why
And while I'm
medicine?
here, I'm keeping my ears and eyes on the ground to find out the best option to do medicine. But I would definitely combine it with tech and see how that plays out.
I mean, that is so interesting because medicine is a whole other field of itself.
I know it is.
But I know you can incorporate technology and medicine and all that. But I mean, it's interesting that you'd want to like go ahead and yeah, and make this switch again. I mean, it gets to show us how you are someone with all this diverse interests and all that, which is awesome. I'd like to see
Friends,
you do that.
pray and find God. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
it's all God. I can't credit anything to myself.
Yeah. Okay, so I know like we talked about how technology keeps evolving all the time. And
Hmm.
you have to like be on your toes all the time. You have to be educated. You have to be like, oh, there's a new framework around. There is a new language that you need to learn. So how do you keep yourself educated, and basically how do you keep yourself updated on all trends when it comes to technology and all that?
Um, so this is ironic that we're in COVID season.
Yeah.
Okay, not COVID season. I mean, COVID has really affected everything. But if you get a chance to travel. You
Yeah.
get to see so many other developments, even if it's just going to your shago and asking grandpa or grandma, can
Yeah.
you use this application? They will give you a different perspective of how technology is being used in various places.
Mm-hmm.
Again, community, ask your friends, challenge yourself with pet projects.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop learning. Watch the news, just stay updated and find that unique thing about yourself
Yeah.
that makes you stand out from the crowd
Yeah.
and explore your other talents within technology. I mean, technology is such a powerful tool that you can literally do anything with this
Yeah.
while still developing your personal skills.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is the final thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's quite
Yeah.
exciting. I know you made the big move from Kenya to Dublin last year. Is it last year? Yeah,
Yes, in the middle
yeah.
of a pandemic.
In the middle
We
of a
did.
pandemic, you moved to a
Yeah.
whole new country and you had a new job in a whole new country. So I want you to tell us about how has the experience been for you, like making the big move to a new country for a job. What was it for you in the beginning?
So first of all, when I heard that I will be flying first class, I was like, what?
I know.
First class?
Uh-huh.
I was like, this one I must record. So I recorded it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw it.
And then I arrived at my corporate housing, which was wonderful, and I'm now at my own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the best experience. I thank all of my managers. I mean, the managers and the teams at Facebook just they go all out. I must say that.
Yeah.
And developer operations,
Mm-hmm.
we are a dedicated team of passionate individuals who are looking to supporting developers,
Yeah.
to build thriving communities,
Yeah.
and keep people safe from malicious actors.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was the best experience moving, and I love my job. And I know you were to ask about
I know, like,
working.
yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
working in a different country. I know Facebook is a very
Mm-hmm.
big company. There is the headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. There's companies in like Singapore, and you told me that you work with teammates who are in these different countries. So like, I know it can be quite challenging sometimes because of the time difference and all that. But I wanted you to tell us how you have navigated that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so my teammates are in Sunnyvale and Singapore, and we're in Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to all of my teammates. I can't mention all of them, but Chi, Lindsay, Raz,
Yeah.
Sylvester, Karina, all of you guys, Chris, David, Zihan, Shubra, all of you guys, I love you. If I haven't mentioned you, please do not watch this live. All of them are such a nice bunch of people.
Yeah.
And we work with different stakeholders across the different time zones. So there are times I've had to work around the clock, and sometimes I've had to just sleep around the clock
Yeah.
just to keep my body going.
Mhm.
But yeah, it takes a lot of time management.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you had not experienced winter before, so before like coming back, before coming to Dublin. Was the
Yes.
experience for you? Tell us about that. Like,
All my bills, my
Mhm.
electricity bills shot up because it was cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Greece, and then the little sun, 1 degree. But I saw snow for the first time, so I was like a
Mhm.
child. I was like, it's a snowing.
I know, like we all have that, yeah, first experience where you're like, wow, and then you get tired of it in like
Yeah, it
2
was a
weeks. You're like, oh
both.
God, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
a mix of both.
and then when it comes to culture, I know Dublin, is it the Irish people? Yeah, right? They have a different
Oh, the
culture from
Irish.
Kenya.
Um, so first of all, there's culture shock that everyone experiences,
Yeah.
and I don't know why everything here has an expiry date.
Even
If eggs have an expiry date, potatoes, you know me, I'm used to my ushago where shosho
yeah,
just chukua chukwas. Like I never thought about putting an expiry date to an item like that.
yeah.
But there's been good culture shock, and the culture shocks
hmm
like that. And I've also had culture shock in my own apartment.
Yeah,
So the first time I was here,
yeah.
I, I have large curtains that are I I think floor top to bottom. So
Uh-huh.
I first thought I would just push them across the same way I do at home.
Yeah,
But then I actually almost hurt my arm. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on with these windows,
yeah,
with these curtains? And then I realized they have pulleys and they have like a nice babbage technology.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was both. It's exciting. I'm excited, and I can't wait to sink into Dublin.
Okay, so what do you think is the best thing about you moving to Dublin so far? What do you like most about Dublin so far?
Independence.
I know,
Then
right?
discovering who I am as a person. I hope
Yeah.
my mom is watching,
Hmm.
but adulting can be hard. But I've loved the independence that I've had so far. And I'm still growing my craft. I actually, for the very first, that's how I figured I should put my music out there and go all out.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing how, like, I feel like when someone travels and moves to a new place, you get this experience, and you have to like live by your own, like live by yourself, like buy your own food, buy your own things, and you're in a new country, you have to like survive. There's this sense of independence that you naturally have to get, like for you to actually survive and all that, which is awesome. And so, do you have any advice for someone who's thinking of relocating to work somewhere else, like in a new country and all that?
First of all, write it down. Write it down that, dear God, I want to move out. I want to relocate. Write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Pray about it, and then go apply for a passport if you don't have one.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Talk to people who have relocated and ask them, hey, there's this, I want to move out. Or actually walk into a government office and say, hey, I'm interested in working abroad. How can we make this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Just so pray to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I always tell people if they want something, they should be aggressive and like go for it. If you know you want to like study abroad, for example, like go for it. Apply to those schools, apply to whatever like just be aggressive.
Wait.
If you want to get a new job, make a plan and just go for it. And I think that is something that we always work out for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think we have talked about the 5 things that I wanted us to talk about, and it has
Have
been
we? Oh
awesome.
my gosh,
It is,
time flies.
yeah, I know, right? So I wanted to see if people in the audience have questions for you, like any questions in terms of technology. Like, yeah, if anybody has questions for Carol, feel free to comment down below. You can comment about anything and everything,
Okay.
and yeah,
Okay.
she'll answer them.
Bashir, Brian.
Brand mirror, yeah, there's many people. So if anyone has a question for Carol about tech and all that, yeah, about Facebook, they're doing a good job.
Ask, ask away.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, do you know about F8?
the F8, I don't know, the summit,
The developer conference.
the
You should
developer
know.
conference. I know about it,
Excuse
but I've
me.
never like watched it. I've only seen like people post
You
about it.
Oh, I love F8 so much. I was just trying to watch last 2019's version.
Uh-huh.
And the announcements that technology has to offer. I mean, yeah.
I think you've attended one in, was it in San Diego, right? The F8
San
conference,
Jose.
San
San
Jose.
Jose.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
don't know if people have questions for you. Uh,
People questions are so sad.
no, let's see.
Or okay, Rosa Court. I know Rosa Court. I know her. Amazing session. Thanks, Rose.
Thank you, Rose.
Catherine joined.
Hi,
All
Catherine.
right.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, I feel like we have covered the most important things when it comes to tech as a woman or like technology and all that, like career-wise. I don't know if people have questions. If you don't, I'll save this live. And yeah.
You're welcome, Jolene Kariuki. Okay, I think there's a question there. Do you think enough is done to help women get into tech industry? If not, what would you recommend? I think, okay, in my perspective, there's a lot that's been done. There's a lot that's still going on. There's a lot of resources like books, communities. and you just need to be in the spaces where it's happening. I don't know who asked that question. I hope that answered your question.
I mean, he
I'm a
said
bit,
that if not, what would you recommend? Yeah. I mean,
join circles, Nairobi.
I feel like yes, there is a lot that is happening, but there's still a lot more that needs to happen because I feel like not everybody in the world has access to the same resources and all that. I mean, not everybody can be in the same space. Like in the same spaces, people have different experiences, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
commendable the work that different people are actually doing and all that. But still, there is a lot more that needs to be done in terms of like more communities. Like you see, Facebook is doing a good job in terms of developer circles. We need more communities, I would say. And we need to like just let women know that they can also make it when they join like these STEM fields, these STEM careers and all that. Yeah, but so far I think there's a lot being done. Someone asked about my question is about what you do. I'm in pursuing a cybersecurity career, and you've talked about protecting DevOps. So that includes about, yeah, I don't know. I think you know about that.
I think
I mean, talk about DevOps, and yeah, I think she's interested in getting into DevOps. Yeah. Mm.
okay, so developer operations. I said we're a vibrant, dedicated team of passionate individuals
Yeah.
looking to support developers who are building on top of our platform products.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like Instagram, WhatsApp, um, Messenger, Facebook login. So we look at the integrations that developers want to build on top of that platform, on either of those platforms, and other emerging products, AR, VR. There's like the effects we have on Instagram, etc. And there's just a lot more in store which I can't say for now. And we're also protecting people from malicious actors. While people are building thriving communities, you always find that one person who willingly or unwillingly did something out by mistake or intentionally, and we are here to protect the community from
Yeah.
such people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope your question has been answered, Diana. She's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
And then
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what DevSecOps is.
Oh
So
yeah.
that includes a SecOps. I don't know what that
I
is.
think yeah,
Sorry, there.
she's in cybersecurity, and I think cybersecurity
Oh,
involves the security part. You're talking about the like protecting people
yes,
from malicious attacks and all that,
yes,
and she was interested in that.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's also
yes,
that
yes, yes,
question
yes.
that I don't know how to answer, like experience with coding interface and tips. Like I wish you would
Interviews.
use it in interface. I wish I don't know.
Interviews.
Yeah.
I think she means interviews. Interviews, you have to just practice data structures and algorithms,
Mm-hmm.
understand how programs run from beginning to the end, and the middle processes that happen,
Yeah.
how to optimize speed, memory, what trade-offs to make. So I would recommend LeetCode
Yeah.
or what's yeah,
Hacker.
LeetCode is a platform.
Yeah.
LeetCode, Hackarank, and they've seen Nairobi have Happy Hour Wednesdays
Yeah.
where
And they
we
currently and they currently have a
yes.
30-day coding challenge, so you can join that. Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
see, they're doing a good job. They're doing well. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was uh, a good session. I don't know if there's no more question. I think I'm going to save this, and that should be it. And by the way,
You're
thank
going
you.
to take this?
I'm going to save this live. You should send this to your mom.
Oh, I will watch it back so that I
Yeah.
see what said. And
Mhm.
thank you for inviting me, Celine. This was really fun.
Yeah, and thank you so much for accepting to do this. And yeah, I'm sure you have
I know it's
inspired folks out here, so kudos for that.
having me.
You're
All right,
welcome.
bye guys.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna end this.